I can guarantee that you will become a millionaire if you follow this strategy. That's a pretty bold statement for me to say, isn't it? That's a pretty bold claim for me to say. That I can guarantee over time, if you follow this strategy, you will be profitable. You will be successful. You will be able to generate thousands to hundreds of thousands to potentially millions of dollars in the market. And what that is, it comes on down to your entry, your stop loss, your target. If you know where to buy in, you are already ahead of the curve. On top of that, all you have to do is be willing to set a stop loss. We know when we take a look at the S&P 500 here, that every single time we have hit this purple line, we hit the purple line, we fall. 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 We broke the purple line slightly, we fall. We hit the purple line. So let's do an example here. What would be the smartest move that you could possibly do on the S&P 500 right now at this moment? The smartest move that you could possibly do is say, hey, Deck, I'm going to look for a put contract somewhere in this region. I'm going to look for a put contract and a fall coming on up within the next few moments. And the smartest thing that you can do is set a stop loss and saying, if it doesn't work out, I'm going to get out of this play. Let me ask you right now, this is why you're not a millionaire. This is why you are not successful in stock trading. This is why you are not profitable. Because while you jumped in, let's say at the purple line, and now it's starting to get a little bit higher, are you out already? You have a stop loss? Are you completely done with this play? No, Deck, I'm not. I kept on holding. I still am holding. I'm hoping that it drops. I'm hoping that it reverses. If you place a stop loss on every single stock where you are allowing yourself to lose the minimum and to win the maximum, you will be successful in this game. So what this means is if you jump in at the price of 503.75, and let's say you have a stop loss at the price of 503.90, you are allowing yourself to lose 15 cents for a possible massive sell-off all the way back on down towards these bottoms and towards these lows. How great is that? I am risking 15 cents for me to possibly make a $1.50 move, risking 50 cents for me to possibly make a $2 drop. I am losing the minimum to win the maximum. But the issue is, whenever we do start losing, traders say, okay, give it a little bit more time. Okay, let me hold a little bit longer. And we don't lose 15 cents, do we? Sometimes we lose a whole dollar. Sometimes we lose $2. Sometimes we hold $5. Sometimes we just keep on holding and say it'll come down at some point. Screw it, right? That's not how to be successful. That's not how for us to be able to make money. If we can always discover where support's at and where resistance is at, and we can jump in at that play, the hard part's done. The hardest part is figuring out the entry on the market. The hardest part is for us to say, where are we going to reverse at? Stock trading is all about reversals. And if you can figure out that we have top resistance, top resistance, top resistance, top resistance, hey, there's a great chance that we're going to fall at this area. Let me buy in and let me place a stop loss so I can lose the minimum, and now I can win the maximum. Guess what? I'm going to be successful. The issue is, guess what happens, guys, is that we hold and we hold through breakouts and we get massive crushes against us. The other issue is that we say, okay, Deck, I'm looking for a breakout. Hey, if you want to look for this thing to spike on up, I'm not opposed to that in any sort of way either. But what I want you guys to understand is here's your support line. If you jump in on this play for the break of the purple line, 503.75, you have a stop loss at 503.50 because it bounced off 503.50, bounced off 503.50, bounced off 503.50, and then guess what happens? We now cracked 503.50. We are allowing ourselves to win all the way up to the VWAP, and we lose 15 cents. But we can't be holding it if it's all the way down to 503.15, now saying, I hope it goes back on up. If you can study day in and day out, how can I figure out where support and resistance is? You already have the hard part done. Then whenever you do a put contract, you always put a stop loss right above your entry so you could be able to make all the money on down. And if you do a call contract or you buy shares, you do a stop loss right under your entry for this to be able to spike on up. And if you do this every single trade from this point on, you will win more than you lose. And if you're saying to yourself, no, Deck, every time I jump into a play, I lose automatically. Well, that just means you have bad entry. You're not at support and resistance. And you're saying, oh no, Deck, every single time I jump in on a play, I keep losing more than I win. Impossible. You can't lose more than you win. You are setting your stop loss so you can only win more than you lose. One win should make back 3 losses. One win should always put yourself back to even, put yourself up into the green. So if we study support and resistance, we already have a higher win rate because we are going to be having great entries and exits. Then on top of that, if we actually set stop losses with minimal risk and maximum reward, that is where we are now going to see our profit grow. So we could win 80% of the time, but if we only take profits when we're up $2 and lose $200, our account is never going to be successful. So we are now having great entries and now we're maximizing our reward. So every great trade now is going to be 2, 3, 4 times our loss. And if we do this consistently, we're going to throw in some losers, but guess what? We're going to have so many more winners. And all of these winners are going to be 10 times, 20 times, 30 times bigger. And that's where our account is going to be able to grow. So the S&P 500 right here is a perfect example of that, where we have minimal risk and when we have maximum reward. Follow this strategy and you are going to be able to make it in the stock market.